G'day guys, my name's Dave and welcome to another Guitar Zero to Hero song tutorial. In this lesson, I'm going to teach you how to play Life Goes On by Ed Sheeran, which is probably my favorite song from his album Subtract. For the basics, you'll just need a guitar in standard tuning and you'll need a capo on the first fret of your guitar. If you want to master your chords back to front, then be sure to head over to guitarzerotohero.com to pick up my free guitar ebook. Or if you want to improve in your guitar in general, then check out Guitar Zero to Hero Premium, which is my complete step-by-step guitar course. Alright, let's jump into the lesson. Okay, so let's start with the intro, and there's 2 lines of tab here. So we're going to start with the C chord, nice and easy. But another thing that we're going to add, and this is what Ed Sheeran does, is he adds his pinky finger onto the 3rd fret of the 1st string. Now this isn't entirely necessary, you can leave that out and just play a regular C chord if you want to, but for the rest of this lesson I will be using that pinky finger, but note that it is optional. So we're going to go C chord, and then we're going to go to an F sus2. So from the C chord, move your ring finger down to the 3rd fret of the 4th string, and we're just strumming from the 4th string onwards. Now you want to keep the 6th and 5th string muted while you're playing this F sus2. And in order to do that, I just use my free middle finger here to lightly touch that 5th string, and you can also use your thumb to lightly touch the 6th string. Or you can just focus on those top 4 strings, it's up to you. Now the strumming pattern here is going to go down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, down, up. And the point at which we'll change chords is on the highlighted down strum here. So from the C to the F sus2. Now you can choose to use a pick to strum this, or you can use your fingers. Now when I'm strumming with my fingers, I'm basically using the side of my index fingernail, a combination of that and the side of my thumb, in order to strum down and glide across the strings. So you want to be really light when you do that. That's more or less how Ed Sheeran strums when he's using just his fingers. For this F sus2, you'll also keep that pinky finger on the 3rd fret of the 1st string. For the 2nd bar, we go back to our C chord, and then we go to a G chord. So we just move our ring and middle finger up 1 string, and you can lift your index finger here. Keep your pinky finger where it is. And that is our G chord. And again, the point at which we change chords is on that same down strum. So the first line of chords. Now, one thing that we can add to this on the first strum of each of the C chords is a hammer on. So keep your middle finger lifted, but on the first down strum, after you strum, hammer that middle finger into place. For the second line of chords, the first bar is similar, so it's that C to the F sus2. For the second bar, we're going to actually put our middle finger down here and play an F. Now technically, with our pinky finger here, it's an F add 9, but let's just call this an F for simplicity. So we're going to strum that, and then we're going to go back to our F sus2 on the next down strum. For the next down strum, we go back to the F, so middle finger back down. And then on the 4th down strum, we go to a G. Strum that, and then end with a up, down, up, down, down, up. So all together. Now, another thing you can do is add that hammer on the first down strum. So hammer your middle finger into place on that first F. And the second line of chords. And the intro in total. So that's it for the intro in the studio recording. Now, when Ed Sheeran plays this live in the performance that he did with Luke Combs, he actually just plays that second line of chords through twice for the intro. Next, we get to the verse, and it's pretty much the same as the intro we just learned, with one minor exception. So instead of heading back to the C chord on the 2nd bar of the first line of chords, he stays on the F sus2 and then goes to a G. And again, the same strumming pattern and the same point at which we change chords. So the F sus2 to the G. And the verse in total. Next we get to the pre-chorus, which is just one line of chords. So we're going to start with an E minor chord like this, just index and middle finger, or middle and ring finger on the second frets of the 5th and 4th string. I'll be using my index and middle. Our strumming pattern here is going to be similar to what we had in the verse, so the down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, down, up. So we're going to play that for the E minor, and then we're going to go to an A minor chord, play that once for the A minor. Then we go to a G chord. Now you can play that with your ring, middle, and pinky finger like we have in the verse, or you could play it with all 4 of your fingers, completely up to you. I'm going to use this G chord just so it's more uniform with the rest of the song, but you could use this shape as well. So we're going to play this for one full strumming pattern, and then on the 4th and final bar, we're going to strum this 5 times, and then on the 4 beat, drop your strumming hand onto the strings to mute everything. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Next we get to the chorus, and there's 4 lines of chords here. Now for the first line of chords, it's kind of similar to the verse. We have a little bit of an exception here. So the first bar is what we've already learned. So just that C to the F sus2. Now for the second bar, we're going to play the F sus2 and then go back to a C and end with a G. Now the strumming pattern here is going to be down, down, up, down, down, up, down, 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 up. And we're going to change from the F sus2 to the C on the 2 beat, and then on the 3 beat we'll go to the G. So 1, 2, 3, or down, down, up, down, down, up, down, 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 up. And the first line of chords. Now the second line of chords is just the same as the second line of chords in the verse, so we've already learnt that. The third line of chords is the same as the first line of chords, and then we get to the final line of chords. So we're going to start with an A minor, then we'll go to a G, and then we'll play an F chord. Now the way I play this F is like this. You can play a full F bar chord if you want, but I just use my ring and pinky finger on the 3rd frets of the 5th and 4th string, middle finger on the 2nd fret of the 3rd, and index finger on the 1st fret of the 2nd string. And if you can, use your thumb to hit that 1st fret of the 6th string, but it's not 100% necessary. If you hit those middle 4 strings, it's just as good. So that's our F, and then we go to C/E. So it's the same as a C chord, but you're allowed to hit the open 6th string. So those 4 chords cover 1 bar of music, and each of those chords is played with a down, down, up. So down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up. Then we go back to a G chord. We're going to play this with a down, down, up, down, up. And that bar is only 2 beats long. And then we go into the break section. So it's worth noting that that final G chord only spans 2 beats of music, not 4 beats of music. And the final line of chords. And that's it for the chorus, which will sound like this. All these strumming patterns are, of course, just suggestions. So just feel the music, and if you want to improvise and do something slightly different, then go for it. The next section is the break, which happens after the 1st and 2nd chorus. And this is really simple because it's just the 2nd line of chords from the intro in the verse. So it's just this. And that's just played through twice. So that's it for the break. The final thing to learn is chorus number 3, which is very similar to chorus 1 and 2, except we have an extra chord here. So for the final G chord, it's not just the G, we have a G and a C chord. And that final line of chords is actually played through twice as well. So the first time around that we play this G to C chord, we're gonna go down, down, up, down, up. And then when we go to the C, we're gonna play this with a down, 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 up. So I'll play the 4th line of chords the first time through. then the second time through, when we go to the C chord, that's the chord that we just end the song on. Pretty much it for the third chorus, the only difference being that we add that extra C at the very end. So now that final bar covers 4 beats, not just 2 beats, and that fourth line of chords is repeated through twice as well. If you want to see that in context, go to the playthrough at the end of the song. So a couple of notes. All these hammer-ons that I do within the lesson, you don't need to add them. You can just start the chord off without the hammer-on, but obviously it sounds a little better with the hammer-on. The other thing is that you don't always need to keep your pinky finger there for the C and the F sus2 chord shapes, but that's what Ed Sheeran does, and it makes changing from the C, the F, and the G quite easy because you got a note to anchor from. And that's everything that you need to know for this song. So now I'll be doing a full playthrough of the song, and I'll have a vocal track on top for some context. A big thanks to my friend Eric for lending his awesome vocals to this playthrough. Feel free to play this back as many times as you'd like to practice, play along to, and see how you go. Thanks so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this lesson, then I know you'll absolutely love these other lessons too. So hit the link here, or if you want to grab a copy of my free guitar ebook, then head over to guitarzerotohero.com or click the link here. Thanks so much, and I'll see you guys next time on Guitar Zero to Hero. Cheers.